Hi, thanks for tuning in to my official YouTube channel. I'm Reverend MeeLing, also known as Reverend Susan MeeLing, Lady MeeLing, Lady Dori, Belle, a few other names. So, back in 2018, when I got back from my Medal of Honor art project trip from Iowa, my son, James Michael, had essentially told me that he wanted to move out of the house in Lakewood, and I asked him why, and he said that he had met a female. And so he had moved into Kira's house, and after I was essentially ambushed, because I was not expecting to meet Kira's mom or stepmom at the Lakewood Library, along with some female named Tia. And the two of them discussed what they thought was best for my son, despite the fact that I was not informed that they were discussing that before that particular meeting at that public library outside. So I had already got my son enrolled into graduating high school early by a year, and had him arranged so that way he could join the United States of America's Armed Forces Army branch, because he wanted to be able to do that. And I thought that I would be hypocritical if I were to deny him that, because I had fought to be emancipated. And so I wasn't emancipating him. It was more along the lines of he was, old enough to do that. He had been, able to see the Medal of Honor art project artwork pieces. And, he being extremely mature for his age, especially for a teenage male. And so, okay, I wasn't happy about it as far as, not being able to have an extra year with my son. However, he's extremely smart. So, okay, you want to join the Army? And I discussed it with him. I said, you do know the multitude of aspects in that regard. You know what happened in regards to the problems in reference to my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, and the coma, and the subarachnoid hemorrhage, and the frontal lobe of my brain, and my headaches and migraines, and memory deficits and cognitive disorders. And you saw and see my issues as far as how I went from college algebra with trigonometry and calculus to second grade math. And you also see my problems, using technology, in that regard. And his response was, yes, Mom, I know. So, okay, but you also know the other aspect, that you have to be honest in reference to the United States of America's Armed Forces, because you know about the other stuff. And he's like, yes. I said, and you know that there is a difference in reference to, the fact that a Medal of Honor recipient goes above and beyond the call of duty of what is, in a war situation, that is beyond expected as far as carrying out a mission and making sure a bunch of stuff occurs for the safety of the United States of America's Armed Forces. And he said yes. So we talked for a little bit. I was like, okay, I really would prefer you graduate high school, however, if you would prefer that, you graduate a year early, okay, and he knew that I had done what I could for myself to do that before. And he also knew about a lot of other things. And so it was one of those, okay, I will. Initially, it was get him the ability to graduate early to then go in the Army. Then it was, after that, wanting to move in with Kira and Kira's family. Okay, and so went over to the Featherly household, and the Army recruiter was given their information and that whole thing. And so one evening I was allowed to go over to their house in Bothell, and I cooked dinner for his birthday, and then I was allowed over for Christmas in that regard, and so I cleaned the house, well, the kitchen area, to assist with that. And when everybody was sitting down, my son started drinking wine, and I look over, I'm like, I don't think so, you are not 21. And he looked at me, and he was like, well, I've been drinking wine since, no, you are not 21 years old. No. I didn't allow that when you were in the house, and no. I mean, that's just, no. And so, while Will Featherly's mom and sisters were there, and Kira and her brother from Ireland, as Caramel Featherly, had gotten her son to come in, and so discussed certain things, and it was just one of those, you want to join the military, okay, love you, be safe. And so, even though he told me that he had chaptered out and stuff like that, I'm still proud of the fact that he tried, and he said he was going to look at going with the Air Force, as far as certain things were concerned. And it's like, okay, just be safe no matter what. So I'm on my way to Washington State, and I've reached out to my son a few times. Haven't heard back from him. I'd like to be able to see him and spend some time with him. However, I know that with the different stuff going on, it's a bunch of different things, so hopefully I'll be able to see him. So I also know he's 18 years old, so I can't force that. And so just one of those. I miss my son just as I miss my daughter. Different ways, of course. And so, essentially one step at a time. However, I'm in Utah, and I'm getting closer to Salt Lake City. And so, with the other fact that he, meaning my son, had gone with me to the Montana Vortex and had seen what I could do, it was one of those, well, maybe. But that being said, still would be cool in regards to cutie patootie Navy SEAL. Nothing better to do when I wind up going out there, just saying. Plus it would be really cool for my son to meet that guy. But I definitely want to meet him. So, my son had seen the aspects of the Montana Vortex and watched how sat in the chair and stood up and all that other stuff. So, miss you, James. Miss you, Lydia. A lot. So, I hope you're proud of me despite, not being able to do a bunch of stuff and look normal, all that. Though, so I did sign that paperwork so that way he could join the army. And I got to speak with him on my birthday last year in 2019. Tried calling him, or not I tried, I did call him for his birthday and get a response. I even drove out to Washington State hoping and wishing that I'd be able to see him, but figured he was busy. So still would like to. So I'm in Utah, and there is snow on some of the mountains. And getting anxious, more so for other reasons. Just wanted to essentially make that statement. Because, even though there were certain things as far as, like life stuff, and tried to do everything I possibly could, no matter what. So, hopefully, everything goes well, smoothly and easily as possible in regards to everything. And really wanted to show my son how I can, walk on top of quicksand. Although I did show him that I could, well, I didn't show him, but I told him about the seal poopy nose. Go into the port and talk with the seal poopy nose. So, anyway, that is all I essentially have to say for this particular official YouTube broadcast of my channel. So, you guys have a good one. And James, Michael, and Lydia Louise, I miss you and I love you.